Hello friends and welcome to today's episode of IndiHistory. But before we start the episode, wish you all a very happy Dussehra. Hope you all are enjoying the festivities and staying safe at home. We are very happy that of late we've started receiving some requests from our regular viewers, and based on a couple of such requests, we are doing today's episode on the majestic Gwalior Fort. The Gwalior Fort is a hill fort in the city of Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. It is one of the best fortresses of India, known for its great architecture and rich history. It stands 300 feet above the countryside on a completely flat, solitary rocky hill Gopachal, which is almost 3 kilometers in length. It is surrounded by concrete walls of sandstone, and the exterior is sculpted exquisitely, containing blue ceramic tiles. It has also been referred to as the Pearl of the Hind and entitled the Gibraltar of India by the Mughal king Babur. The fort seems to have existed since the 10th century, but based on the inscriptions found within the fort, it seems that it might have existed since the early 6th century and has been controlled by different rulers at different times in history. It is in fact very amazing to see the second oldest reference of zero in mathematics carved in a temple in the fort of Gwalior. The exact period of the construction of the fort is not known, but as per some old records, it is said that it was earlier known as Badalgarh Fort, which was built by a Sakarwar Rajput king known as Badal Dev. But according to the local legends, it was built by the Sakarwar Rajput king Suraj Sen in 3 CE. It is said that he was cured of leprosy by a sage named Gwalipa with water from a pond which now lies within the fort. As a sign of gratitude, Suraj Sen built the fort and named it after the sage, thus calling it the Gwalior Fort. The sage had bestowed the title of Pal on the king and told him that the fort would remain under the control of his family as long as they carried this title. 83 descendants of Suraj Sen Pal ruled this fort, but the 84th, called Tej Karan, who did not hold on to this title, is said to have lost it. In the 9th century, it was probably under the rule of Gurjar Pratiharas, and in the 10th century, ruled by the Pachagatas. From the 11th century onwards, it was constantly under attack by the Muslim dynasties. In 1022, it was besieged by Mahmud of Ghazni for 4 days, post which he returned it in exchange for 35 elephants. In 1196, it was captured by Qutubuddin Aibak, and in 1232, it was recaptured by Iltutmish after the Delhi Sultanate had lost it for a short while. In 1398, it came under the rule of the Tomars. The most distinguished Tomar rulers was Man Singh, who built several important monuments in the fort. In 1505, Sikandar Lodi tried to capture it but failed. But later on in 1516, Sikandar Lodi's son Ibrahim Lodi attacked the fort, which resulted in the death of Man Singh, and the Tomars had to surrender. After almost a decade, the Mughal Emperor Babur captured the fort from the Delhi Sultanate, but lost it to Sher Shah Suri in 1542. Later it was used by the Hindu general Hemu, but recaptured by Babur's grandson Akbar in 1558. The 6th Sikh Guru, Guru Har Gobind, was imprisoned here in 1609 under the rule of Jahangir. In 1755-56, the Marathas captured the fort under the Maratha general Mahatji Shinde, also known as Mahatji Scindia, but lost it to the East India Company in 1780. Post this, the fort control changed several times between the Scindias and the Britishers between 1808 and 1844. In 1844, it was held by the Gwalior state of the Maratha Scindia family as a protectorate of the British government. In 1857, during the uprising, the company's vassal ruler Jayaji Rao Scindia sadly remained loyal to the British. The joint forces of Rani Lakshmibai and Tatya Tope fought the Britishers here. In 1886, the British handed over the fort to the Scindia family, and the Scindia family ruled over it till independence in India in 1947. It contains two main palaces, the Gurjari Mahal and the Mandir, built by Man Singh Tomar. The Gurjari Mahal palace was built for his queen Mrignani, which is now an archaeological museum housing several Brahmin and Jain scriptures. The fort premises include several palaces, temples, water tanks, etc. There are 11 Jain temples built inside the fort dedicated to the Jain Tirthankaras. On the southern side are 21 temples cut in the rock with intricately carved Tirthankaras. The tallest idol is of Bhagwaan Adinath, the first Tirthankara. It is 58 feet and 4 inches high. There is also a beautiful and miraculous 42 feet high colossus of Bhagwan Parshvanath in the Padmasana posture. There were around 1500 idols on the Gopachal hills inside the fort, but sadly many were destroyed by the Mughals. The famous Telika Mandir dedicated to Lord Vishnu was built within the fort by the Pratihara Emperor Mihira Bhoj. It is oblong in shape with Ganga Jamuna figures at the entrance. The temple was badly damaged by the Muslim invasions and later refurbished. There are several other notable structures in the fort, like the Hathipul, meaning elephant gate. It was called so as a huge life-sized elephant statue once adorned the gate. Several other notable structures are the Badalgarh Gate, the Sahasrabahu Temple, Karan Mahal, Vikram Mahal, Bhim Singh Chhatri, etc., each having a special tale associated with them. The most beautiful place in the fort is undoubtedly the Mandir Palace. It is an architectural marvel and one of the most spectacular palaces. This is a fort definitely worth visiting. It is spectacular and very well maintained and just the right place for photography and panoramic views. It showcases a very rich history and hosts a light and sound show for the visitors, telling them about the history of the fort along with the love story of Raja Man Singh and Queen Mrignani. I hope you all liked today's episode. Do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Stay safe and stay home. We'll see you again soon with yet another episode.